Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is December the 7th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Today was overall good. It's been good so far. We went to work. That went well. I guess we can just go ahead and do what donuts did we get? We got the big cinnamon roll and we got the cake blueberry with the glaze on it. So that was good. That's a win. Overall, worked solid. Then I had to double back home, get my laundry together, and I get to the laundromat, and the vibes were weird. And I'm gonna leave it at that. It just overall was just not a fun place to be inside, and really the whole area was just not fun. It was just not a good time, and I didn't like my interactions, just straight up. But hey, it goes, and that's all right. A tactic I do, whether it's normal or not at the laundromat, is I often will put my clothes in the wash, hop in the car, chill in the car. Especially lately, I used to go get a little treat, but lately I just haven't been as much in the mood for that. Haven't been hungry for anything. And then I will, excuse me, excuse me, oof, a little cough. Then I will put my wash clothes in the dryer for about an hour, and then I just am scray. I get home. Usually I'll do my workout, my little house workout, then hang out, chill, then come back, pick up my dry clothes. And lately I've been going and getting a little coffee from Scooters. That's been my little treat. Did that today, and that was nice on the way back. But yeah, just didn't love it. Then I went to the gym, and gym was overall good, but just also weird. I came in, and there was a guy, shirt off, just shorts, shoes, and they just had the shiesty on. They just had the balaclava on, and I'm like, okay. And I literally had to avert my eyes because I didn't want to start snickering. I didn't want to start laughing because I didn't want to be rude. Because he's over here doing poses and shit, and I'm like, I mean, okay. I mean, this is the locker room. This is where you can do that. You can just be your most grug self, and that's cool, brother. But I just wanted to let him have his moment, but I also was like, wow, the vibes, they're so strange today. But yeah, what else did I want to hit? I forgot the other day, and this is, neither here nor there really, but I finished a couple books, and I was really excited about that the other day. That was a nice little dub. Started a new book today, so that was cool. Granted, it's a part of my little fantasy book series, the little Black Company thing. So I think I got this book, maybe another one or two to go, I think, and then I'll be done. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just nice to get some reading in while I'm working, I mean, I know some people may say, they're like, oh, if you're doing audiobooks, it's not actually reading. Well, it is to me. It counts to me, okay? All right? So boo to you if you don't think so. Whatever. But yeah, let's see. That's enough yapping about myself. Overall, like I said, good day. I'm happy about it. It's a bummer that we're doing a classy night in, but sometimes you just got to do that. I've realized that I don't want to push it all the time, or at least sometimes you just got to do your chores. I feel like a little snot nosed kid sometimes. Oh, I don't want to do my chores, but I also don't want to have a pile of stinky clothes, and I also don't want to have to do that out of a certain kind of rhythm. So it goes. So it goes. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup, and we will go ahead and get into it. Ooh, all right. From the BBC, 5 dead, more feared missing after the Hague flat explosions. So this is some breaking news. At least 5 people have died and 4 others injured after explosions rocked a block of flats in The Hague in the Netherlands, authorities have said. Firefighters rushed to the three-story building following the blast that caused the collapse of several homes in the Tawakamp area around 6:15 or 5:15 GMT on Saturday. The city's mayor, Jan van Zanen, said it was unknown how many people were still missing. The cause of the explosion is not yet clear, but Dutch police said a car drove away at very high speed shortly after and have appealed for witnesses. So yeah, this is pretty devastating, seemingly out of nowhere. We don't know exactly what was, used for the explosion. Like, what was the explosive? What was the ordnance? I don't know yet. So, we'll definitely come back with details most likely on this story. But yeah, obviously very unfortunate. My condolences goes out to the families and just the people who had to go through that. I know that they interviewed a kid and he was like, yeah, I thought it was like an earthquake or something, which totally makes sense. But no, apparently it was an explosion so big that it rocked a building like this. So definitely just seeing pictures, it seemed pretty devastating, pretty scary. So starting off with that, but let's get into some, European politics, political shit, election shit. Let's see. Sorry, I got to scroll all the way over to the top here. From Reuters, Romanian top court annuls presidential election result. Romania's top court annulled an ongoing presidential election after accusations of Russian meddling and ruled on Friday the entire process, which had been due to conclude this weekend, would have to be rerun. The second round had been scheduled for Sunday, and voting has already begun in polling stations abroad. It would have pitted Călin Georgescu, a far-right pro-Russian candidate, against pro-European Union centrist leader Alina Lascani. The electoral process to elect Romania's president will be fully rerun, and the government will set a new date and calendar for the necessary steps, the court said in a statement. Georgescu scored single-digit numbers in opinion polls before the first round vote on November 24th, but then surged to a first-place finish that raised questions over the result. Georgescu wants to end Romanian support for Ukraine against Russia's invasion. If he won the presidency, it would upend the pro-Western politics of the EU and NATO member, pushing Romania closer to a belt of states in Central Eastern Europe that have powerful populist Russian-friendly politicians, including Hungary, Slovakia, and Austria. Friday's court ruling plunged the country into institutional chaos. Let's see here. Now, President Klaus Lohannes, his term was supposed to end on November 22nd, but he's going to stay at his post until a successor is elected, meaning he will nominate a prime minister following the December 1st parliamentary ballot. Now, it's weird because, like I said, it's obviously very odd. It's very strange. It's very suspicious that he went from single-digit numbers to just winning out and having like a substantial lead. It's like, well, what happened? Also, he had no pledged campaign dollars, but Romanian intelligence is saying, we looked into this and it seems that Russia has, through shadowy donors or what have you, pumped his campaign. And there's been a lot of influence via TikTok, though TikTok has come out and said, hey, there's nothing untoward coming out on our end. We talked about TikTok on the other episode. This is kind of one of those things where they're saying, hey, there's political openings here for manipulation. Now, granted, they were saying that through China, but it's definitely insinuated as well that Russia might have a hand in that, and that's something that's problematic. And it looks like this is an example that's probably going to get used probably in the future. But that being said, TikTok saying, hey, whoa, we're not seeing anything on our end that would indicate there's anything wrong here. But they're just saying, Romanian intelligence is saying, hey, the shit is not adding up. And the courts are saying, yeah, we agree. We need to stop. We need to hold this up and we need to restart. It's also looking like they're going to prevent Georgescu from running at all. Like they are going to be eliminated from running because of this whole situation. So I definitely get it. Like this does seem suspicious. It seems like there's evidence that points to it. Though when I initially heard this, I just heard the TikTok part, and I'm like, look, once again, I'm not the biggest fan of fucking TikTok, but maybe that's what did it. Maybe that is a push. And like maybe Russia might have been involved in some pushing and influencing. But when you get into like, what is it? Voter manipulation. I think that that's that's a bad thing, but it's also potentially a very vague thing. I don't have my hands on the evidence here, but all of this does, once again, seem very suspect. And I can understand why, with all the information on the table, why the courts ruled this way. Let me read a little bit more from the article. The ruling shows the weakness of the Romanian state, the vulnerabilities of institutions that were not able to identify early on in the process the Russian interference, said Lauren Stefan, a legal expert at Think Tank Expert Forum. Did I skip a thing that I wanted to? No, I didn't. Let's continue. In a statement to television station Realitia, Georgescu called the court ruling an official coup, evidence of what he said was a corrupt system showing its face. Lesconi, which was his political rival here, once again a centrist at least, Lesconi condemned the court's ruling. The Constitutional Court's decision is illegal, immoral, and crushes the very essence of democracy voting, she said. So I was actually surprised she came out and said that, because I'm like, girl, like, you're losing. You lost. Like, you would think you wouldn't want this. But I also understand, like, there's a part of me that goes, and maybe this kind of feels a bit familiar, but, like, when we're talking about, like, the situation that's going on in Georgia, like, I really felt that I'm like, look, I understand. I don't want to see, these guys that are super pro-Russia win, but I also understand that, like, if the political process is more or less being followed, like, democracy is kind of a rigged game, at least when you really look in the details of it a lot of times. But, like, if you don't have the real evidence, or if you don't really, and I think this is a really key thing, I hate to say it, but if you don't have the political will to really enact what you want, then you're going to get rolled over by what's happening, and what can you do? Like, especially if that's how the vote shook out. But in this situation, there's seemingly evidence that points to the contrary. It's made its way through. More importantly here, kind of what I'm saying, is political will forced through. And it's like, yeah, no, this Georgescu motherfucker is more or less getting routed. I do think it's on the table that Russia's trying to put their finger on the scale. They're doing that shit in a lot of places. Yes, so is China. So is America. Like, everybody's at it. So, I'm not surprised. I'm not upset. I'm not, oh my God. But I think it's important, once again, that if you want to actually stop this shit, yes, protests are important. They're very key. You need that shit. It's definitely effective in Georgia. It changed that whole ascension thing. Like, all of a sudden the guy's like, yeah, I know we said that shit, but actually we didn't say that shit, and you're a liar. And it's like, we have you on record saying that. And he's like, nah. And it's like, because he sees that it's like on the street, people are so mad, and that is making change happen. So obviously do that shit, but you do need more than that. And I think political will, and I know I'm saying that a lot here, but I feel like it's an important phrase. It really applies. It is making this happen so that it's like, hey, we can get this person off the ballot. We can change this shit. Hold this shit up. Let's fix this shit. So yes, I personally like seeing it. I fuck with it. But let me continue. However, Social Democrat Prime Minister Marcel, I'm going to totally get this wrong, Ciolacu, supported the move, calling it the only correct solution. So there are people that are more or less on board with this decision. And we'll see how things kind of pan out from here. There's more details, but, we'll leave it to the article. Now, this one, I kind of had to do a little bit of maneuvering here. Let me see if it'll come up the way I want to. All right. Do I have to riff? No, I think we're good. It's getting it ready for me. But this is from the New York Times, and I really don't use the New York Times because I get paywalled. But South Korea's leader survives impeachment vote after his power grab. So this is an update coming out of North Korea and the, what is the name of the movement? What is it? People Power Movement? I might be getting that backwards. People Power Movement, yeah. Yoon Suk-yeol accused his political rivals of essentially working or being anti South Korea, being pro North Korea. He instituted a state of martial law to protect the country, which was crazy because essentially it was just him throwing a political temper tantrum. And he since said, "Hey, I was just anxious. I was just a little I was just a little spicy. My bad. I'm sorry." I think someone on his staff was fired, like a major member. They fell on their sword. Took a bullet, I guess. But essentially, the way that the party survived, like decided not to do the impeachment, even though everyone is very well aware that shouldn't have fucking happened. That was a big political fucking faux pas, and he does deserve to face some kind of, rebuke for that, potentially lose his fucking job for that, right? They didn't even show up for the vote. They walk out. All but one member of this party. That's how they fucking do this shit. They just do a political maneuver to just dodge the shit. So Yoon is safe, at least for the time being. Now, granted, I imagine protests on the street are still going to go on. We'll see what happens. The political climate right now coming out of South Korea is very tense. It's not good. People aren't liking the vibe internationally. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a big update. This is how he is going to maneuver through and keep his job, keep his, his shirt on, so to speak. But yeah, we have one more thing I wanted to cover. But yeah, shout out to technology. I like that reader mode. That was pretty sick. Because I literally couldn't find that exact article anywhere. And I was like, fuck, I'll just have to completely riff it. But I'm like, all right, no, that works. I can just kind of read from there, Even though I did wind up riffing it anyway. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyway, let's go ahead and take our last break. And we'll go ahead and close it out. Oh, with a scumbag. With a real fucking dirt bag, dude. All right, NBC News. Nick Fuentes facing battery charge after Your Body, My Choice confrontation at his Illinois home. The far-right influencer posted his mugshot on Friday after his arrest over allegations that he shoved a woman and broke her phone. Far-right streamer and influencer Nick Fuentes has been accused of battery after allegedly spraying a woman with pepper spray when she appeared at his front door in Illinois last month as his refrain, "Your Body, My Choice," was going viral. Marla Rose, 57, told police that she went to record Fuentes' home on November 10th after she saw his controversial social media post and that he pepper sprayed her, pushed her onto the concrete, and broke her phone outside his Chicago home in Berwyn, Illinois. According to a police report, which was filed November 11th, the woman did not have any physical injuries, but her eyes were watery. Also, I believe it's worth noting, because I kind of remember reading this, looking into this when it happened, or at least like the week of or whatever, when it got posted, that not only did he do this in the initial scuffle, he takes her phone. And then, she says to the, Rose says to the police, "Hey, you took my phone," and he gives it back. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's, to my knowledge. Now, personally, I think these are just desserts, I mean, I hate to say it, but, like, I'm not a fucking fan of Fuentes. He's a piece of fucking shit. And I mentioned this whole Your Body, My Choice, situation. This happened, right after, a big, I believe it was it a government or, oh no, it was a fucking election shit, right? Yeah, if I'm not fucking mistaken. Everyone was gassed up, just saying that's a bunch of crazy ass fucking shit. And he posts this shit. And to him, his defense is it's a political joke. And it's like, no, man, it's not a joke. Like this kind of energy was palpable, right after. And it's just crazy to try to act like, oh, I was just being funny. I was just being loose with it. And it's like, he says all kinds of crazy wild shit. Speaking of crazy wild shit that he says, he posted pictures Friday of his mugshots on X and wrote, "Free me," and it's expletive, but he says the N-word. Rose also took to social media, posting on Facebook, "It is on." 3 fire emojis. P.S. Civil case pending. Rose cannot be reached for comment Friday. Now, I mean, this is pretty light. I mean, I'm sure, it's a battery charge, what have you. But I'm always happy to see this guy, at least getting some kind of recompense, I hope. Hold on. I'm looking up something. Yeah, okay. It was over Trump's reelection. I just wanted to make sure I was getting that right, so I didn't have to do a correction corner. But yeah, I mean, Fuentes is just notorious for saying all kinds of just controversial shit. A point, though, I guess I do want to make. I wouldn't, suggest anyone going to his house, doing anything to him. I know that there was another person who actually witnessed this. She was driving past his house. But this is also the kind of thing where, just like when we've been talking about earlier in the week with the fucking CEO getting his shit blown out. Like, these things that you say and do have repercussions. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, there are people out here who will match your fucking freak. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. No, like, I very much can believe it happens. I don't want to see it happen, but at the same time, I don't want to see people like this thrive and exist and continue to keep on going and going and going and just doing more and more vile shit. But anyway, I mean, there are some side news before I want to close it out. I mean, this is shit to my dear listeners, my average audience. They don't know much about Destiny. Another controversial, now political figure. Used to be a gaming streamer kind of guy, but he got way too political in ways that were not good, and he's banned on a lot of platforms. So I don't really want to talk about him too much, but he was linked actually to Fuentes and some things, allegedly. I don't want to really dig into it, but you can always go out and Google if you want to do that kind of research, and you could potentially learn some tidbits about this motherfucker, or these motherfuckers. But yeah, I mean, these are just some motherfuckers who love stirring up controversy, love being the center of attention, and just spreading just the worst kind of propaganda for the worst kind of people and the worst kind of ideals. So, boo these motherfuckers. Like I said, I hope something comes out of these battery charges, because it's crazy because once again, like I said, I don't advocate doing anything, but I do believe Rose really just was like, well, I know where this person is, and I'm going to knock on the door, and I'm going to ask them why would they say this kind of stuff. Like, because it's just crazy shit to say. And it's crazy to, once again, open a door with pepper spray in hand, and then, once again, take someone's phone and close the door. Like, that's wild shit to do. I don't know. That's crazy to me. But once again, I'm not 100% sure that he took the phone, but I think that was at least initially what I had heard from reading or sourcing the shit out. Anyway, that's the news for today. That's where I really want to close it out. That's where I want to leave it. Not too bad, not too long. But yeah, if you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/AzayaNews. I was thinking about this today, and something I've really appreciated over the years. I know it's not much money. It's not something I can make a living off of, but I am very honored. I'm humbled. I'm flattered. I'm all kinds of emotions. But dare I say, I'm proud that I've been able to have and go on this journey with y'all, and there is a few of y'all along the way, and sometimes every month have supported this and been a part of this, and I'm on my knees about that. It really it brings a certain kind of joy and satisfaction to my life that I didn't know I was gonna get until I got into this shit, and maybe we were about maybe a year deep or so. So I'm very thankful. I'm very honored. I'm very humbled. I feel very loved to just have the newsies that I have on deck. So I just wanted to say that, I don't know if any of y'all even get to this part, and that's okay. I know y'all listen to hella episodes, so thank you. But, like I said, it's always appreciated. And free ways, though, to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Please subscribe to the YouTube. It's a free way to help out. We'd love to see that. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. And you can do that on Spotify or any other platform that you're on. So yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.